No, that's slow. We got a four.
Yeah, definitely. Good evening. Can we get a roll call? Thank you.
Collier?
Here.
Keeling?
Here.
Knapp?
Here.
McMichael?
Here.
Mr. Kaleshi?
Here.
Ms. Pitzer?
Here.
Ms. Sealander? Ms. Serrano? Mr. Morris?
Here. Lee, could you read the announcement, please?
You got it. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Sparta Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be advertised by having the date, time, and place therefore posted at the Sparta Board of Education office, 18 Mohawk Ave, as designated by the Board of Education for posting of such notice in a public place. Written notice was emailed on January 6, 2023 to the New Jersey Herald, the Star Ledger, tapintosparta.net, and to the Township Clerk specifying the date, time, and place of this meeting.
Thank you. Can we all rise for pledge of allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to start off tonight with the student representative report. Parker, sir.
So first off, I want to start off with saying that happy holidays to everyone from the students at Sparta High School. And to get into that festive spirit, we've started getting into helping out with the VFW. So everyone knows that the VFW has their trees set up where they're selling to everyone that goes back to into the VFW. So we had students that helped set up the trees and kind of get everything ready. Also getting into spirit, we have our Deck the Halls, which is where students are going through decorating the hallways, starting to build up spirit for when we get more into Christmas time. And also, we have a pep rally coming up, which is going to be on next Wednesday, the 20th of December. So this is going to be the day of the boys' Westmore Central game, which is a big basketball game for them. And we're also going to be recognizing all the different winter athletes. And also going to have fun games, again, building up the spirit, getting everyone ready for break. And also another event that we've been working on is our Student Council fashion show. So currently we're working on getting sponsors for this event. We're also going to be branding different companies around Sparta and even some of the own Sparta wear that we have. So one more thing that I'd also like to touch upon real quick is I'd also like to bring in, Mr. Sconamilia, who is currently a teacher at Sparta High School, is working on rebuilding the workout facility that we currently have. So with this, he's expanding the weight room and the cardio room. So this will include a turf room where there could be sleds or even other things that may be used for different agility and anything to help get our athletes better. In addition, there's also going to be a free weight and machinery room with Smith machines, free weights, and much more. All donations are greatly appreciated, and if anyone would like to donate, they can reach out to Mr. Sconamilia, which is, and here's his personal email, kennethsconamilia@sparta.org, Kenneth, KENNETH SCOGNAMIGLIO@sparta.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Parker, and thank you for your festive sweater. Looks like you and I are the only ones got the memo. I appreciate it.
It's not as good as yours, Kurt.
No, it's hard to compete. Hard to compete. Can I get a motion for the reading of the minutes?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on. Dr. Beck.
Thank you, Mr. Morris. I'd like to begin my superintendent report this evening by thanking the outgoing Board of Education members, Christina Longo-Keeling, Walter Knapp, and Leanne Pitzer. Serving as a board member in a school district requires many nights away from your family, countless hours of time commitment, and is certainly not an easy task. I wish you well in the future and appreciate your continued support of our district.
Golf clap.
As I shared in a community email last week, our Governor's Educator of the Year Award recipients were announced last Friday. Visiting each school with our admin team and surprising the recipients of these awards in front of their classes is one of my favorite days of the year. The recipients of these awards represent the great educators we are lucky to have in our school district. During our February meeting, we will formally honor the recipients as we do every year. I would like to once again acknowledge and congratulate this year's recipients this evening. From Sparta High School, the Teacher of the Year is Sierra Mitchell, and the Education Service Professional of the Year is Haley Anderson. From Sparta Middle School, the Teacher of the Year is Catherine Jennings, and the Ed Service Professional is Alexa Griffin. From Helen Morgan School, the Teacher of the Year is Sonia Benson, and the Ed Service Professional is Nicole Petrock. From Mohawk Avenue School, the Teacher of the Year is Kyle Markovich, and the Ed Service Professional of the Year is Lourdes Francaneri. And from Alpine Elementary School, the Teacher of the Year is Kimberly Benson, and the Ed Service Professional of the Year is Callum McCauley. Congratulations again to these recipients. On to robotics, high school robotics and middle school robotics. We'll start with the high school. Our high school robotics team, 5249Z, also known as Spare Parts, made it to the tournament semifinals at Milburn High School this past Sunday. The Z team also ranked number 5 out of 50 teams in driver and coding skills challenges. This places the Z team at number 8 in the state of New Jersey and number 602 in the world. They are now in the top 17% out of all the high school and middle school VEX teams worldwide. On December 3rd, Sparta Middle School hosted the second largest robotics competition in the nation, second only to the World Championships. 3 Sparta Middle School teams finished at the top of their division. Team 153D placed second in the Kiwi division. Team 153E placed second in the Apple division. And Team 153C placed 5th in the Apple division. Congratulations to all of our high school and middle school robotics students and advisors for the continued success on the state, national, and world levels. On this evening's agenda, you will see our district's Safe Return to School Plan up for approval, as it has been on previous agendas as well. The Safe Return to School Plan is a federal American Rescue Plan requirement to be updated and submitted every 6 months, and it is tied to the federal funding that we receive. It's our sincere hope that this plan will never need to be implemented. This year's Center for Prevention and Counseling What's Your Anti-Drug contest had nearly 500 entries representing 26 schools in Sussex County. These winning entries were featured this past Sunday, December 10th, in the What's Your Anti-Drug supplement inside the New Jersey Herald. This year, for the 3rd year, they included a What Makes You Happy for students in What Makes You Happy category for students in kindergarten to 3rd grade. The center then selected 14 winning entries in the county. The following Sparta students were named winners in this contest: Bryn Lassard from Helen Morgan School and Brielle Lassard from Sparta Middle School. And in the What Makes You Happy category, JT Chestnut from Alpine Elementary School. Speaking of art awards, Nate Burke, a senior, entered the New Jersey NJ Monthly photo competition that NJ Monthly magazine runs once a year, and he won the student division. He won a $1,200 camera and a spread in next month's magazine. As I've been doing the past couple of months, a referendum update. Our architect has come up with 8 different options for the potential expansion of Alpine Elementary School. The plan is for him to present those options to the board in January and get the board's feedback. He has also met with me, Ms. Black, and Mr. Tappan to go over some proposed upgrades to other buildings that we could possibly include as part of the referendum. The referendum process has many steps to it, and we are completing the early preliminary steps in a responsible and timely manner, and we'll continue to keep you updated as the process progresses. Another update I've been providing is the preschool expansion. Our Helen Morgan School pre-K classroom is nearing completion and will be ready to welcome students on January 2nd. The furniture has arrived and has been assembled, and we are placing finishing touches on the classroom. There will be a parent night for those students, for the new Helen Morgan parents, pre-K parents on Monday evening at Helen Morgan School. The second phase of our preschool expansion is also progressing. We will be finalizing our community partners for the 24-25 school year very soon. We will also be opening our pre-K registration for the 24-25 school year much earlier than we have in the past. We are aiming for late January to open pre-K registration, and we plan on holding a virtual parent night before registration opens to offer parents additional information on the preschool expansion and answer any questions they may have. Keep an eye out for the parent night advertisement and for the pre-K registration advertisement in January. Lastly, as Parker said, I want to wish everyone a safe and happy holiday season, and I look forward to seeing you all in 2024.
Thank you, Dr. Beck. Okay, moving on. Motion to approve the HIB report.
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Ann?
Ms. Collier,
Yes.
Ms. Keeling. Yes. Mr. Knapp,
Yes.
Ms. McMichael,
Yes.
Mr. Pelesci,
Yes.
Ms. Pitzer,
Yes.
Ms. Seelander,
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes. Any communications? None. Thank you. Delegate liaison reports. With the Town Council, Board of Ed liaison, we're still working on a path, trying to get a path from middle school to the high school. A lot has to go on there. We've been trying to set up meetings to walk the property, just the weather has not been cooperative. Hopefully we get that in the next month or so, and I'll report back on that. Anyone else? No? Okay. Moving on to public comment number 1. Public comments are invited on all matters pertaining only to action items at this time. Please state the action item number as well as your name, municipality, and group affiliation, if appropriate, for the record. Each participant will receive 3 minutes to speak. Once you have had your allotted 3 minutes to speak, you will not be permitted to speak again until second session. The board administration may or may not respond to any questions, comments after the conclusion of public participation. Knock yourself out. You keeping time? You want me to keep? You got it?
Jenny Derricks, Tap into Sparta. A couple of quick questions, hopefully quick. Item number 15.25, policy 5440, first reading, about academic recognition. If you could just maybe give a brief overview of what you're basing the new standards on for the honor rolls. You're changing the benchmarks for each of the, especially at the high school. Do we know how many students will be affected by this change of moving the GPA up by a quarter of a point? It specifically references an awards dinner. Currently, there are 2. There is an academic awards dinner. There is a academic awards recognition program in the morning. In the evening, there's a scholarship dinner, and then there's also the top 10. But the policy only references, and specifically references, an academic awards dinner. So if you could speak on, are things being removed, or is it just not stated? There's also underclassmen awards that happen during the day in the high school. And will the top 10, what will that recognition look like? Moving on to policy 16.8, the funding for college, or the reaffirmation of the relationship with College of St. Elizabeth. It references 65,000 funds. I understand it's coming from ESSER money, but we were told at the last, if that could be explained, because we were told at the last budget go around in the spring that ESSER funds are done. So if we can explain how we still have 65,000, or is this an ongoing pull down, draw down from a pot of money that we have? And then number 17.3, transfers. There is more than 16% transfer out of the line item that shows the line item that is supposed to be for improvement for instructional services and instructional staff training services. So we've pulled out over $117,000 from that line item, and I'm just wondering why. What's the discussion there? Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Motion to close?
Motion.
Thank you. Second? Second. All in favor? Thank you. Matthew?
Okay. All right, so academic recognition, the new benchmarks, actually, the main reason that we dove into this policy was because of the class rank policy being changed, and the class rank policy affected other policies. So the class rank one went first, and then there was a trickle-down effect for the other policies that were affected by that. Caused us to revisit the policy that you brought up, Jenny. And the new benchmarks, they're not brand-new benchmarks. They've been the benchmarks in the high school, that the policy never reflected it. So we wanted to make sure that the policy actually reflects what we're doing in the high school. And when you ask about the awards dinner, if you look at the old policy really had a tendency to pigeonhole exact awards that were going to be given out and exact recognition that we're going to be giving out. And we wanted to be able to leave a little bit of flexibility there and be a little more general with our language. So being general with our language allows us to add awards or subtract awards depending on how things go and depending on what we're doing without actually having to change the policy. So what we were trying to do is generalize that. And the top 10 dinner will still exist. The GPAs will still exist for class rank, but they will not be made public to the students, but they will be recognized at the end of the year. Sorry, that was just one part. The reaffirmation with the College of St. Elizabeth, ESSER funds being done. ESSER funds are done, they're being drawn down this year. So I believe at the budget presentation, if we were talking about ESSER funds being done, we probably mentioned that, I don't even remember exactly what we said, but it would have been stated that this is the last year for those ESSER funds. They were part of the budget and they would be drawn down this year. So they're still there, but they're getting toward the end. And then the transfers, I'm not sure exactly what that transfer was for. I could follow up with Ms. Black on that one. I mean, there's transfers all the time. One of that size was approved by the county, that much I know. So I'll follow up with Ms. Black on that one.
Okay, thank you. Moving on. Can I get a motion to move personnel and policy 15.1 to 15.31?
Motion.
Thank you, Lauren. Second?
Second.
Thanks, Leanne. Discussion?
I just want to thank the colleagues for everyone working together to bring a policy to second reading. I feel like we did a great job honoring what we heard during public comment, and I appreciate Wendy, Craig, Lee, and Kurt really for coming together. I think we made some nice compromises to also make sure that we're protecting our students and also honoring parental involvement in our district. So thank you so much for everyone working together on that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I want to echo that. It was nice to see the Personnel and Policy Committee, take what they heard and put it to work. Nice job, guys. It was a good job.
Thank you. And can we get a vote?
Ms. Collier?
Yes.
Ms. Keeling?
Yes.
Mr. Knapp?
Yes.
Ms. McMichael?
Yes.
Mr. Pelesci?
Yes.
Ms. Pitzer?
Yes.
Ms. Seelander?
Yes.
And Mr. Morris?
Yes and no to 15.26. Moving on to curriculum. I need a motion to move curriculum 16.1 to 16.15.
Motion?
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion? Ann?
Ms. Collier?
Yes.
Ms. Keeling?
Yes.
Mr. Knapp?
Yes.
Ms. McMichael?
Yes.
Mr. Pelesci?
Yes.
Ms. Pitzer?
Yes.
Ms. Seelander?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes. Okay, moving on to finance. Motion to move 17.1 to 17.7.
Motion.
Thanks, Leanne. Second?
Second.
Thanks, Craig. Discussion. Ann?
Ms. Collier?
Yes.
Ms. Keeling? Yes. Mr. Knapp?
Yes.
Ms. McMichael?
Yes.
Mr. Paleshi?
Yes.
Ms. Pitzer?
Yes.
Ms. Sealander?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes. Operations 18-1 to 18-3. Motion.
Motion.
Thanks, Christina. Second.
Second.
Thank you, Craig. Discussion. Ann?
Ms. Collier?
Yes.
Ms. Keeling?
Yes.
Mr. Knapp?
Yes.
Ms. McMichael?
Yes.
Mr. Paleshi?
Yes.
Ms. Pitzer? Yes. Ms. Sealander?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes. Moving on. Anyone have anything for old business?
I just had a couple of questions. I remember last school year that we were supposed to be receiving some sort of donation of weight equipment for the weight room at the high school. Did that ever come to fruition? Or,
Yeah, that donation, the donor actually pulled out. So what we need to do actually is probably make a formal resolution to rescind that donation. But that fell through and that donor pulled out.
okay. And then just in regard to the referendum plans, are there any plans to take in any sort of community input or communications as far as like, maybe some ideas? Or I know from a personal standpoint, I'd love to see like a sensory gym put into like the Alpine School for our special needs students, which might also benefit us as far as having to send out students that, for other, special needs
Yes.
students, you know what I mean? So I'm
Yes.
just wondering if there's going to be any sort of like, community outreach or anything like that.
So what I'm learning from, as I work closely with the architect about the referendum process is, obviously, in order to get a referendum passed, when it comes to that point, you need the public to vote for that referendum. So the public needs to know what is going on in that referendum throughout the process, and the public has to have input throughout that process as well. So there will be a phase where we'll be soliciting public input as well. Yeah.
Okay, new business?
Along the lines of public input, I was curious if we could, I know that, Dr. Beck, we've discussed the preschool expansion, how it's based upon the current status is that we offer a full-day program for all students. But in the past, we have offered a half-day program, which there was a population in the community that did appreciate that as well. And there is feedback among the community of maybe the desire to have a half-day program. And I was curious if we could explore that with the state to maybe have something run concurrently for parents and guardians that didn't wish to have their children in full day every day.
Yeah, it's something we can look into more, Ms. Collier, but when you receive the preschool expansion grants, when you accept the preschool expansion grant, funding, I should say, which we have, one of the provisions of that funding is that you can't go backwards in anything. You can't offer less than what you're offering in anything. So I actually had a phone call with a parent today who had some very good questions about the preschool expansion, and one of them was transportation. Will we consider taking transportation away for pre-K students? And because we already offer pre-K transportation, you can't do less than that. So you can't do less than anything that you're doing. So you can't do less transportation. You can't do less like offering of meals. And the length of the school day is one of those things that you can't do less than.
Thank you.
Anyone else for new business? Okay, moving on to public comment number 2. We'll use second public comment period to invite comments on all matters pertaining to the school district. Please state your name, municipality, and group affiliation if appropriate. For the record, each participant will receive 3 minutes to speak. Once you have allotted the 3 minutes to speak, you will not be permitted to speak again. All statements should be directed to me as presiding officer. The board administration may or may not respond to any questions, comments, or conclusion of public participation. I think I'd have that memorized, man.
Good evening. My name is Angela DeLucia, and I am the very proud president of the Sparta Education Association. Tonight, I'm here to share this month's good news with the board and the community. To kick off the holiday season in partnership with the SHS Student Council, Jerry Carter and Doug Kraus volunteered to help unload holiday trees at the VFW in preparation for their annual tree sale. It was certainly chilly, but it was definitely a great experience. It's officially concert season, and our music educators in every building have prepared our students for their first official performances of the year. And anyone who has attended any of these concerts knows that Sparta music teachers have the extraordinary ability to highlight the amazing talent of our students. Our elementary members are beaming with school, community, and holiday spirit. I had the opportunity to visit all 3 elementary buildings this week. Teachers, paras, secretaries, counselors, and nurses have incorporated various themes in their schedules and even have dressed for every occasion. The uplifting and inspiring atmosphere is positively contagious. Winter sports and activities are now in full swing at the middle and high school, and our coaches and advisors are looking forward to a very successful season. We are especially proud of our members who continue to drive innovation, intellectual curiosity, and physical acumen by proposing and implementing new activities like archery that will hopefully make its way to the middle school, and HOSA, the Healthcare Occupations Club that already has 80 student members and is preparing to compete at the state level. Kelly Kiff, the middle school librarian, and I, the high school librarian, had the honor of being invited to present at the New Jersey Association of School Librarians Fall Conference. We shared our expertise on resource policy and navigating concerns about resources and censorship. It was an honor to be invited to present at the statewide conference. And of course, I must recognize our governor educators and educational support professionals of the year. Their hard work and dedication is commendable. And as Dr. Beck already stated their names, I want to stay within my 3-minute time frame.
1 minute.
See? Thank you, Mr. Roselli. Finally, the SEI would like to once again express its gratitude for the support of the community and the camaraderie of our colleagues as we continue to do what we do best, provide the best instruction, resources, and support for our students. We wish all Spartans a very happy and healthy holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela.
Caitlin Gagnon, Sparta. So I would like to mimic some of what I heard regarding the transgender policy. I was certainly pleased and appreciative to see that what I perceived as the most concerning verbiage from the last version was removed. So that's excellent news. It shows some level of progress, which is great. But I do still have concerns, and obviously I know that it just passed, but there's some clarity that maybe we can reach for the sake of the community. There were 2 parts that I thought were problematic still. When we say school staff should work closely with the student to assess the degree to which, and then the red line version reflects if any, has been struck, and it says the parents and guardians will be involved in the process. So from a legal perspective, that actually kind of pigeonholes the argument to suggest that parents will be involved. And I think in the nuanced, very, very extreme cases where we know that a parent might pose a threat or a danger to their child, we're kind of removing a term that explicitly covers that. So from a strictly legal perspective, I'm curious what the reasoning was for that. Second, there was another area that I thought was also still a little bit problematic, and bear with me while I find it. However, school staff shall not provide medical advice or assistance to students about physical transitioning, as these issues should be addressed by appropriate medical professionals, the student, and their parent or guardian. I don't believe in my heart that there's any issue of teachers or staff members guiding our students through delicate issues of transitioning. So when it comes to providing advice, medical advice, I think that's fair. But assistance is actually the word that concerns me. If a transgender student is having a medical emergency that relates to their transition, which occurs outside of school, is our teacher or staff member then implicated if they're providing assistance, medical assistance to that child? And that is an addition that is not reflected in the Kittatinny version that this policy was very clearly curated off of. So it seems like, once again, there are additions and subtractions in areas that are just problematic. And I'm just very curious still. I don't think we've gotten a straight answer as to why we were told we can't revise the existing policy, so it was rescinded and abolished, but then we went ahead and rewrote an entire policy anyway, just not based on our former policy, but Kittatinny's. So I'm curious, and I think it still deserves some clarity, and I'm especially curious to know if any board member or the board in general sought the opinion of an attorney not currently representing our district or others, like Mr. Zittimer, embroiled in legal battles surrounding this very policy.
That's time,
So-
Ms. Gagnon. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, and curious why he's not here tonight, if someone can shed light on that. I hope he's okay. Thank you.
Hello. Dana Dumbert, Sparta. I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of you up here for your dedication and commitment this past year. I applaud each and every board member, as well as Mr. Zittimer, Dr. Beck, Ms. Black, and Ms. Rossi, who I see are not here as well. All of your hard work and certainly your professionalism is evident. I'd imagine it cannot be easy to sit up here each month and be berated and humiliated and lied about by unkind, condescending members of the public. However, despite the divisiveness we face, you should all be proud of your courage and tenacity in fighting for our children and the families of Sparta. A special thank you to Walter, Leanne, and Christina. We will certainly feel your loss next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana. Anybody else? No? Motion to close? Oh, you want Parker, you are? Oh, okay. I saw you grabbing the mic, I didn't know. Okay. Motion to close?
Motion.
All right, second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll just comment on Mr. Zittimer's absence this evening. He's fine, he's just scheduling conflict for tonight's meeting, that's all.
If I could comment on the policy to address Ms. Gagnon's question. So in regards to, and feel free to, please interrupt me, Mr. Roselli, if you can. So the reason as to why we took a look at striking out the line, if any, is because we really focused a lot on the records. The New Jersey, we dug into the state codes, which relate to state statutes, and parents and guardians, regardless if the student is domiciled with their parents or guardians, have the right to any and all records of children underneath the age of 18. So a lot of the language we wanted to make sure still allowed for that because that is statute. So a lot of the language within the policy is based on statute. It's also, actually all of it is, and then the reason why it would be different to approach it from a different perspective of the policy we had before is that we ascribe to Strauss-Esme. Some boards use the New Jersey School Boards Association, which is what Kittatinny used. We liked that policy, the way it detailed things out a little better. As far as making any kind of changes for there were just some minor refinements that we did take under legal consideration and also community concerns that would not embroil us in litigation of doing so. In terms of any kind of assistance concerns, that was just related, aligned specifically to not because anything's happening in this district, but just related to the topic. It's ongoing, and also just to come alongside that we would, Dr. Beck speak to this, but we would obviously have nurses and teachers could also obviously, if a student is in a medical emergency, we would follow our policies and procedures for a student in a medical emergency or psychological crisis.
Yeah, that language there is just referring to assistance in the physical transition process.
Right.
Obviously, an emergency would be addressed.
Correct. I think that was the main concerns that were struck there, but it was just, the main language concerns that we had were related to ensuring that parents and guardians did have access to records. And there is language within the policy that speaks to any kind of extreme cases where if there was concern that the student would be harmed or concern of self-harm, that they would also be able, that our school would be required to take measures to protect that student. So that's also within the language.
And I'll just comment on the consulting an attorney outside of our board attorney. That's not recommended for board members to do because our board attorney covers our board and assists our board. Anytime that there is advice given, if you go to school boards and you're at a workshop and they give you advice or this new thing comes down the pike, they always end it with, but consult your board attorney. So consulting attorneys outside of your board attorney it could become dangerous. You need to stick with your board attorney and not have conflicting, because our board attorney ultimately has to protect the board. And yeah.
And finally, one thing I'll add is I did appreciate also that this policy coming out of New Jersey school boards did give legal citations. That wasn't something that we saw within the policy before, but it was very helpful in our review. Wendy and I dug down that. Craig and I looked at just some language clarifications in there. Policy is just that. It's a lighthouse for us. And policy changes do happen, but I think we ended up in a very good place to make sure protections were ensured for this population of students.
Thank you, Lauren. If no one has anything else, I'll kick off. Go to the order. Prior to coming here this evening, I had the pleasure of attending the 4th and 5th grade orchestra at the high school. It was exhilarating, to say the least. But they were very well done. They all looked professional up there, and it was well orchestrated. So congratulations to all them. It's the only concert I've been able to attend this year. Secondly, I just want to send off and say thank you to the board members that I've worked with the last year. It's been a pleasure. And congratulations to the 3 that have won, Caitlin, Jen, and Chad. Welcome you, and see you January 4th, I believe. And I hope everyone has a good holiday season. Merry Christmas to everybody. Okay?
And happy Hanukkah.
Oh, yeah, that too. Happy Hanukkah. Sorry. Anybody else? Go to the order.
I just also want to thank our colleagues that are signing off. Thank you, Leanne, Walter, and Christina, for all of your dedication. It's been a pleasure to work with you. And it's been quite a year, but I think everyone should, if you have the tenacity and the bravery, I think everybody should take on trying to be a board member. It's not an easy thing to do, but we've learned so much about our school system, how to support our children, our educators, our staff, and there's a lot of things to be proud of in your service, so thank you. And we look forward to welcoming our new members as well.
Yep, I want to echo that. It's been a pleasure, and say the same thing. It's not easy to be up here. So, we appreciate everybody's hard work, and same thing. Welcome to the new board members. We'll see you guys in about a month, a little less than a month now. So thank you.
Well, I won't beat a dead horse, but I echo those same sentiments. We'll miss you guys, and welcome to the new board members as well.
Just a quick few seconds. They pretty much already said it all. We don't always agree. It has not been an easy year for anybody sitting at this table, so thank you for showing up, doing your best, and being a part of the board for the last year, and welcome to the 3 new members.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Sparta, for allowing me to serve on the Board of Education. It's truly been an honor working with everybody, administration, my colleagues here. It definitely has not been an easy year. I've, in fact, had a heart attack this year. So I really appreciate the time I've had on this board, and I wish the best to the students, to the parents, to the members of our community, and a great rest of the school year. Thank you.
I'm going to echo that and also say thank you to my colleagues, the administration. It's been quite an experience. I guess the only thing that I would really like to say is that I truly hope that a common ground of respect can be found between board members, community members, students, teachers, taxpayers, all stakeholders. We don't always have to agree. It's never going to happen. That'd be a perfect world. The perfect world doesn't exist. But please, just try to respect one another. It's really not that difficult. Thank you.
And I guess I'll wrap it up. I just want to also thank everybody on the board. It's been a heck of a year. I've learned a lot. My eyes have been opened to just the process and how things work, and it's really much different sitting on this side of the table than from the other side. But I really enjoyed my experience, and despite, some heated meetings, it is not easy being up here. I did not have a heart attack, thank God, but I thought I was going to a few nights. But yeah, I still want to be involved, so you'll see me out in the audience. Maybe not every month, but you'll be hearing from me. But thank you, everybody. It's been a great year. Thank you.
So I'm just going to close it up real quick. For the last 3-4 meetings that I've been here, I just want to say that it has been awesome working with the three of you through, even though I haven't had lots of time to go into depth and have these full-on meetings as everyone else here has been able to have with you. You guys have been nothing but nice to me and supportive of what I have to say and what I have to report to you guys. So I just want to say thank you for that, and good luck with everything else. Thank you.
Thank you. We get a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all.